You know the moment. You spot a dark patch of mold in a corner, and your first instinct is to just clean it. But is that always the best move? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly when cleaning is the right call, and maybe more importantly, when it could actually be making things worse.
So let's just dive right into the big question. Is cleaning mold making it worse? The answer, you might have guessed, isn't a simple yes or no. Sometimes it's absolutely the right thing to do, but other times, you could just be spreading spores around and, honestly, just delaying a real solution. The whole key is knowing how to tell the difference.
You know, when we see mold, almost all of us have the exact same reaction. It's what I call the cleaning reflex. You grab a cloth, some spray, and you just start scrubbing. We see something that looks dirty, and our brain tells us to clean it. It's a really deeply ingrained habit. And look, it's a powerful reflex for a lot of good reasons. Cleaning is something we all know how to do, right? It's accessible, and man, is it satisfying. The mold disappears, the surface looks clean again, and you get this great feeling like problem solved. The only issue is that feeling is often just temporary.
Okay, so let's get practical. When is that cleaning reflex actually the right response? It turns out there are very specific times when a simple cleaning is all you need. Here's a pretty clear checklist for you. If the mold is just a small, contained patch in a predictable spot, think a little condensation on a window frame, and it's not on something porous like drywall or wallpaper, then yeah, cleaning can be a perfectly reasonable first step. The key here is that it's a one-off event that hasn't happened before. But here's the absolute most important part. Even in these simple cases, the cleaning only works if the environment that let the mold grow also changes. Maybe you start using the bathroom fan more, or you open a window. See, just cleaning the symptom without fixing the underlying cause, well, that's just a recipe for failure.
And that brings us to the real turning point. What happens when you've cleaned it, maybe you even tried to change the environment a bit, and the mold comes back? This, right here, is where the game completely changes. This really illustrates the shift perfectly. A one-time event? That's just a nuisance. You can manage it. But recurring growth? Oh, that's a huge sign. It confirms the underlying conditions are still there. It's not just a cleaning problem anymore, it's what we call a decision trigger. It's telling you your first approach wasn't enough. So let's reframe this for a second. The mold coming back isn't you failing at cleaning, not at all. Think of it as valuable information. It's a clear signal that the environment is still damp enough to support growth, and now you know you need to escalate your strategy beyond just scrubbing. In fact, repeatedly cleaning can actually create brand new problems. I mean, every time you scrub at mold, you can launch spores into the air. If you're using wet cleaning methods, you might even be adding more moisture to the problem. But honestly, the biggest risk is that false sense of security. It makes you feel like you're handling it when you're really just putting off a real fix. And this really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer: the difference between treating the symptom and actually fixing the cause. See, cleaning is all about the symptom, the stuff you can see. It's temporary. But addressing the cause? That means changing the environment itself, improving airflow, adjusting how you heat the room, maybe fixing a tiny leak. These are the things that let materials dry out properly and give you a lasting solution. So, does this mean cleaning is useless? No, not at all. We just need to use it in a smarter way. Instead of thinking of cleaning as the final solution, let's reframe it. Let's think of it as a really powerful diagnostic tool. Here's exactly how that works. Step 1, clean the area really well. Step 2, make just one, specific, deliberate change to the environment. Say you start running a dehumidifier for 2 hours every day. Step 3, you monitor. You just watch and see what happens next. And here's the crucial mindset shift. If the mold comes back after you've made that change, your test didn't fail, your test succeeded. It gave you a definitive answer. It has revealed that there's a persistent problem here that cleaning alone is never going to solve. And now you know it's time to investigate more deeply. Look, if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this simple phrase: cleaning is a step, not a solution. It's a really important first step for sure for managing what's on the surface, but it is very rarely the final answer all on its own. So this leaves us with a final question for you to think about. The next time you reach for that cleaning cloth, just ask yourself, am I actually applying a solution here, or am I just creating a delay? Because knowing the difference, well, that's everything. Thanks for joining me.